Chicken Wing Barrage.
Welcome back, people.
Welcome back, people.
I gotta admit though, like for a game that's old as shit, like this came out Skyrim time. It looks really fucking good.
Yeah, it's got its beauty, definitely.
I mean, sure, you can't walk up that mountain and with a horse that goes 90-degree angles, but or 180-degree angles.
Or
But
360-degree angles.
I don't know. It's just nice.
Yeah. Oh, it's Arvin. Hello.
Magovanen, well met and welcome to the safe haven of Imladris.
Thank you.
My thanks. I'm much honored to meet you, Lady Arwen.
Durin's folk
God, she has seen some shit.
endured great danger and given us urgent warning of a new threat to the north. For this, we honor you, Farin.
Well, it was nothing, lady. It's nice of you fair folk to welcome a dwarf.
You show the modesty worthy of a hero. Estelle and my brothers have spoken highly of your courage at Fornost, and I thank you for your part in seeing to my brother's safe return. Please, take your ease and rest a while in our halls. You will find all your heart could desire, whether it be food, drink, song, or storytelling.
Who is Estelle?
Estelle? Who might this person be?
Your pardon,
Who?
good dwarf. It is my way to call Aragorn by the name he was given as he grew up in Imladris. Estelle means hope.
So why was he called Estelle?
He has a long list of names, to be sure. How'd he come by that one?
It is common practice to foster the children of chieftains of the Dunedain in Imladris. Aragorn was but 2 years of age when his mother, Gilrain, brought him here after his father was slain by an orc arrow, Isildur. Elrond became
I clicked through the conversation because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, well, I
It's
can't
not like-
imagine.
Yeah, you have to, but and she talks so slow, man. It's like she's high as shit.
Yeah.
Oh, she's been sniffing too much of that herb.
But he remains Estelle to me, for he is my heart's hope, even as he is the hope of the Dunedain.
So you're close to Aragorn / Estelle.
If you pardon my saying so. You
What,
speak
in the
his
movies,
name
aren't they
with
like
common
dating or some shit?
fondness.
They fuck.
Do I guess right?
Long ago, I pledged myself to him beneath.
Oh yeah, because she sees a vision of her with her son. Yeah.
saying to him, dark is the shadow, and yet my heart rejoices, for you, Estelle, shall be among the great, whose valor will destroy it.
And then she gets upset at Papa because Papa lied to her.
For I am Elrond's daughter, and half elven. To cleave to Estelle, I must forsake my immortal life and become mortal, accepting the bitter with the sweet. Even should Imladris endure this war, Elrond will leave Middle-earth, and we will be parted beyond the end of the world. It is the price I must pay to bring love and hope to Estelle, to Aragorn.
Okay, so now finally, after telling me about your love story, tell me about the Ettenmoors.
I'd happily sit for a long spell in Rivendell, but Elrond set my friends and me a task to scout the Ettenmoors. We'd best be on our way soon.
Then I will not keep you, but we may be of service to one another. I am helping my father brew a potion known as Miraval. One sip of Miraval can renew heart and soul, and bring new vigor to weary limbs. I am in short supply of certain rare ingredients that may be found in the Ettenmoors. If I gave you a list of the ingredients, perhaps you could bring any you find while carrying out your mission. With enough ingredients, I will return the favor by brewing an extra flask that you may have for your own use.
Okie dokie.
That's a generous offer, Lady Arwen. I'll keep an eye out for what you need and bring it back once I finish scouting around.
Okay, great, finally. God damn. Taste my axe. I cannot.
The worst part is we have to talk to more people.
Yeah, fucking terrible. I just want action.
It's gonna be a while. I think this episode is gonna be mostly Imladris.
Is that the Legolas?
Yeah, that's the Legolas.
Wow.
You don't look like any elf of Rivendell. I'd wager you are one of the Wood Elves of Mirkwood.
You are correct. I am Legolas, son of Thranduil, king of the Woodland Realm. And I believe you are a dwarf of the Lonely Mountain.
Mirkwood.
I've been through Mirkwood. It baffles me that you Wood Elves chose to live in such a place.
Mirkwood is the greatest woodland in all of Middle-earth. It was called Greenwood the Great, before the shadow of Sauron fell over it. In ages past, it was a place of great beauty. But now, it is filled with darkness and dread, save only in the north where my father's realm is maintained.
And why are you here?
What brought you on such a long and perilous journey?
Unpleasant business. My father sent me to report the escape of Gollum, a creature Aragorn had entrusted to our care.
Oh, Gollum, huh?
What can you tell me about this Gollum?
A pathetic creature who long held the Ring of Power. The evil of the ring has left him twisted and tormented. His only thought is to recover what was taken from him.
How did he escape?
How did Gollum manage to escape? I understood you Wood Elves were pretty good at holding prisoners. But this one got away?
Not from a lack of watchfulness, but perhaps from too much kindness. We occasionally allowed Gollum to go about the wood under close guard. But on one of these ventures, the guards were attacked by orcs from Dol Guldur. In the confusion, Gollum escaped. We followed his tracks southward for many leagues, until it drew near to Dol Guldur. There, it became too dangerous to pursue him any further.
What's Dol Guldur?
Dol Guldur. A name of dread to my folk. What do you know of it?
A stronghold of the enemy in the south of Mirkwood. It was once the dwelling of the Dark Lord, until he was driven out in the year of the Dragon's Fall. But it has once again become a place of great evil. All the darkness that besets Mirkwood has its source in Dol Guldur.
Fascinating. Will you return home soon?
So, will you be on your way back to Mirkwood
That's how to
soon?
uninvite
No. I have
visitors.
been chosen to represent Elvenkind on
Yeah.
the Company of the Ring. I will be accompanying
So will we fuck off?
Frodo Baggins on his journey south.
So why are you joining him?
It seems a little strange that, with a house full of his own people to consider, Elrond chose you, a Wood Elf, to represent the Elven folk in the Fellowship.
I asked for the privilege, and Elrond did not refuse me. I feel he may have been relieved not to lose any of his household to this quest. He will have need of all his strength, should the enemy move against Imladris.
Why did you volunteer?
Why'd you volunteer?
Partially to make amends for the loss
Yeah,
of
they
Gollum,
talk so much, I know.
but more so
This
because
episode is gonna be so
shelter
boring.
in our long
Yep.
struggle against the darkness.
But unfortunately, we have to talk to people. Because some of them give quests and others give helpful hints or shit.
Or sucky? Good luck.
Good luck to you, Legolas.
Woo, done with Legolas.
Yeah, congrats.
I
That's
love how
number
you
3.
rolled into the pole immediately. Just like he rolled into his pole, probably. Goddamn fat elf. Angmir.
Even in strange surroundings, you can trust a dwarf to find his way to a forge. You are welcome in my smithy, Farin of Erebor.
Why, thank you. Oh, God. What are you making?
Seems like you're preparing for something. Can you tell me what you have planned?
My fellow smiths and I are preparing for a great work. Soon we will be called upon to reforge the legendary sword Narsil. In the meantime, I've been sharpening my skills by practicing the art of imbuing gemstones.
Uh-oh.
Imbuing? What, Narsil or Narsil?
What can you tell me of this sword, Narsil?
Narsil was the sword of Elendil, a mighty lord of the Dunedain who defied the Dark Lord in the War of the Lost Alliance. He bore the sword in battle against Sauron, but he was slain and the sword was broken. Since that time, the shards of the sword have been an heirloom of the House of Elendil. It was to remain broken until the day when an heir of Elendil would go to war to reclaim the crown and title of king. That day will come soon, and the sword must be made whole once again.
What? Why?
Another guy that just talks way too much.
Not just that, I had the choice between two options, and the two options canceled each other out, apparently. Now I cannot ask about
I
the
should be going.
imbuing gemstone thingy.
Basically, we need to find certain stones, and then we need to go to a dwarf, and he appraises them. And then we need to bring it to him. It's a quest.
Well, it's good that I wasn't able to get it.
But there's that relic stuff. Apparently, we can talk to him about it, but we can also talk to somebody else about it, apparently.
I'm just quickly repairing my shit. Oh yeah, let me quickly talk about with the relic thing.
I've found a few things.
Oh, blah, blah, blah.
Ah, these are
Okay.
work of Westernese, the lost land of Numenor. The men who...
Okay.
Although these components were never part of a single work, I believe you have assembled everything I would need to make it so. The finished weapon would undoubtedly carry some elven qualities.
What do you mean by that?
Only that with a work such as this, the finished product is liable to reflect the nature of the smith who assembles it. If, for example, a dwarven smith were to complete this weapon, it might possess quite different qualities from the weapon I would create.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll have to think about that for a bit.
Okay, so
Goodbye
yeah,
for
he
now.
could do it, but then it has like elven qualities.
Yeah, so for me, he would be probably the best choice.
Yeah, probably.
Do you want to talk to the elven princess over there, or do you want to talk to the person that is sitting over there?
Sitting over.
This one.
Oh, back there. Haha. Too many people.
Oh yeah, this is. Oh, it's
Oh.
Dildo.
Yeah, it's Dildo Baggins.
Always happy to meet a dwarf, and one from the Lonely Mountain, if I'm not mistaken.
I am Farron of Erebor, and we've met before, Bilbo
Oh
Baggins.
right, he just forgot.
Have we
Forgot.
now?
Oh.
Oh, I'm afraid I don't recall. You'll have to forgive me. I've grown somewhat forgetful lately.
We met upon your last
Oh,
visit to
God.
Erebor. I guess that was near 20 years ago now. And before that, I had the honor of sharing the field with you at the Battle of Five Armies. That was my first real taste of battle. I was hardly more than a lad at the time, but it was a glorious day.
Oh, yes, the Battle of the Five Armies. A nasty business, that. Personally, I'm glad those days are behind us. But then again, it seems as if they may not be. Everything seems to be pointing to some dark times ahead. Speaking of which, I'm told that you and your friends did a great deal to help my Frodo and the Dunedain reach Rivendell safely. You'll have to tell me all about it one of these days so I can write it down properly.
Goodness gracious. Sure, tell me about Frodo. Tell me about family. It's always good to ask an old man that. It's never
This
gonna
Frodo, he is your
result in
heir,
a lot of
but I
text.
had not heard that you had a son.
Oh no.
No,
my
this is
son.
gonna result in a lot of
Actually,
text.
he's my first cousin once removed. And also
We're gonna be
my
at 30
second cousin
minutes,
once
and
removed.
we'll still have another episode of talking to
But
people.
we share a great grandfather.
Oh.
The poor lad was orphaned at an early age, and so I adopted him. Made him my heir, all nice and legal, while simultaneously dashing the greedy hopes of my odious relations, the Sackville Baggins. He's a good lad, Frodo. I only wish he hadn't inherited my troubles along with my estate. I hope that Gandalf and the Dunedain will keep him safe in the days ahead.
The Dunedain.
The Dunedain? Who do you mean?
Why, Aragorn, of course. From the Elvish, Dun-Adan, man of the West. Númenorian. Around here, Aragorn is often known simply as the Dunedain. A remarkable man, Aragorn, and a good friend. I almost wish that I could accompany him on his grand quest, but I'm far too old for adventures now. I only hope I will be spared long enough to write it all down.
So tell me about Frodo.
This Frodo, he is your heir.
Again?
But I had not heard that you had a son.
Oh no, he's not my...
As-
The poor lad was... He's a good lad.
I just didn't realize it was grayed out because it was the top option. So it was still highlighted. Whoopsie. Tell me about the ring then.
Can you tell me how Frodo came to hold the Ring of Power?
Well, yes, that was through me, I'm afraid. I found the ring by happenstance while lost beneath the roots of the Misty Mountains. I won it. That is to say, I took it from the creature Gollum. Of course, I did not know the full story of the ring until only a few days ago. I thought it was merely a magical bauble with the power to make the wearer invisible. I only used it to avoid unwelcome visitors. Imagine that old ring of mine causing such a fuss. I would gladly take charge of it again if that would help. Oh, yes. Gladly. Yes. You know,
Creepy
I
guy.
think it would be best if we discussed something else.
Mm-hmm. So you live in Rivendell now?
Now you call Rivendell your home.
Well, the Shire will always be my home, I suppose. But this is the perfect place for so many things that I'm more than content to remain here. My days are mostly filled with my writing now.
And what do you write?
What is it you write?
Oh, a little of this and a little of that. History, my past adventures, family trees. I've even begun a book of translations from the Elvish. Although lately I've been working on poetry mostly. Say, maybe you could help me with that. I'm writing a poem for Aragorn and I'm a bit stuck on a line or two.
Oh god, okay. Well, let's hear your poem for Aragorn.
Are you now? Well then, let me hear what you have.
Very well, very well. The verse that's giving me trouble runs like this. The light from the west is rekindled. Forth from Imladris it springs. Renewed is the hope that has dwindled.
I can have... did you pick any of the rhyme options?
No, I'm actually looking at them as well, and the only one that seems to fit alright is to challenge the Lord of the Rings.
I mean, they all kind of fit.
Yeah, because it rhymes, but not because it makes sense, you know?
Yeah, I know. Although the Sign of Westernese Kings, also okay. Like the right option on the right are the two that I would be picking between. But I think I would also say to challenge the Lord of the Rings. Got the title of the series, you know. So yeah, I'll pick that.
The light from the west is rekindled. Forth from Imladris it springs. Renewed is the hope that has dwindled. To challenge the Lord of the Rings.
Hey now, that's not bad. No, maybe I can work with that. You missed your calling, my friend.
Shalom.
Perhaps you should put down your weapons and take up a pen.
Well, we need weapons now.
The enemy won't be stopped by poetry, I'm afraid.
Oh, I'm afraid you're right, but since these old hands are not much use with a sword, I'll
Damn it.
just keep on with the pen.
Thought the statue had tits.
Though I'll need some help. Perhaps you could show this to the Lady Arwen. She has her people's gift with words, and this touches her deeply after all.
Fuck's sake. Do I need to ask about Arwen? We just met her.
Yeah, it's a quest.
Arwen.
Arwen. And who is that?
Why, she's Elrond's daughter, of course, and Aragorn's beloved as well. Although you didn't hear that from me, she's a sweet lady, and I'm sure she'd be willing to give me a hand with this.
Yep, I'll take it to her.
I'll take
Let me
it to
go
her.
now, old man.
Ah, thanks very much. Be sure to give her my compliments, won't you?
Sure.
I'll be sure to do that. Farewell, Bilbo.
He asked me to give her his compliments. So I'm gonna walk up to her and say, like, Bilbo
Nice
said you got
tits.
nice tits.
Make sure to have a long look at his hairy feet for the creeps in our
Yeah,
in our audience.
it's a good point. I cannot zoom in now, unfortunately. Maybe I can... Well, not goddamn.
No.
Oh, well.
Who the hell are you? Who's this tall glass of milk?
Elare. Hello.
Welcome, dwarf of the Lonely Mountain. Welcome to Imladris. Are you in need of anything to help you in your travels? I have many things in my keeping that might serve you well.
Oh, she's a store.
Imladris. Where is that?
Your pardon,
God,
this
even
is
she has like
Imladris, the
9
house
million
of
options.
Elrond Half-Elven. We who dwell here call it by that name, but it is more commonly known as Rivendell.
Alright. Ooh,
Oh, for fuck's sake. Who lives here?
What sort of folk dwell here in
Bob
Rivendell?
Goder.
Yeah.
Elves, for the most part. My people have dwelt in Imladris for a very long time indeed. But there are other folk to be found here as well. Elrond welcomes all people of goodwill. The Dunedain come often, your own folk come occasionally. We are even home to one special hobbit.
And who's this hobbit?
Who is this hobbit you speak of?
Why,
It's
it is none other
Dillo
than Bilbo the
Swaggins.
Magnificent, greatest of the Shire folk. Your folk know him well as the hobbit who overthrew the dragon Smaug and helped reclaim your lost realm of Erebor. Although these days he is more interested in poetry than adventure. And food and drink, of course. Keeping a hobbit well fed is enough to keep several stewards busy.
Is Rivendell safe?
This is such a peaceful place. It must take a fair number of warriors
course
to
not.
keep it so.
This is a place of learning and peace, not a fortress or camp of war. But there are those here who wield great power, especially the Lord Elrond. Yet even he does not have the strength to overthrow the Dark Lord, or to resist him if he comes against us with great strength.
Well, I hope to prevent that.
I intend to do all I can to see that day never comes.
Nobly spoken. I am told you have done great deeds on behalf of all free folk, and I am certain you will accomplish greater things still. But if you plan to contend with the enemy, you must be well prepared. Perhaps you should examine the stores we have on hand.
Well, tell me of Elrond.
What can you tell me about Elrond?
To tell you everything I know of Master Elrond would take many days. Let it suffice to say that he is an elven lord of great and noble lineage, ancient beyond mortal reckoning, and wise beyond measure. None are more skilled as a healer, or more versed in the lore of ages past.
Incredible. But who are you, actually?
My thanks for the welcome, lady. Might I ask your name?
No, indeed. I am Alare, one of Master Elrond's stewards. I help to manage the needs of his household, including arms and armor. I suspect you might have need of such things.
Okay, now show me your way. Wait. I still have more to talk. You're welcome, dwarves.
I'm surprised to find elves who are so hospitable to a dwarf. Pleased, mind you, but surprised nonetheless.
In other places there may be distrust between elf and dwarf, but all who bear no ill will toward the elves are welcome here. You have already done a great deal to aid our common cause, so I am happy to call you an ally and a friend.
Very happy to be your friend. Yep.
Oh, it's an honor to be called friend by such a gracious and beautiful lady.
Oh, he's flustered.
I was unaware that dwarves had such flattering tongues. Perhaps you should look at the stores I have on hand. Maybe you will find something else to catch your eye.
Well, they're flirting. Okay, let me see what you got. That helmet looks cool. 3 will and 3 dexterity, huh?
She has some really good shit.
Yeah. I wish I could compare the stuff that they sell to the stuff that I have equipped. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That would be some cool function.
Yeah. But I'm gonna wait until I choose to give the smithy the stuff. In case I get some better shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to spend money only to not use it, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. Wow, there's an Elfsmith's Great Mace.
Yeah.
Has a slot as well. Already does plus 11 fire damage. Wowzers. 132 to some. It's better actually. That's actually quite tempting. First of all, it's a 2-hand weapon. I like that.
But what if you get something from a smith that is miles better?
Yeah, but do we have a dwarven smith at the moment?
I'm looking at 2 dwarves right now. I don't know if one maybe does some shit with it. I don't know.
A fair point. It's a cool looking mace though. It's even got like the yellow background and stuff, right? Oh. This one's definitely.
There's also a really there's also a really cool staff.
So, groin, tell me about your groin.
Farin, my lad, by my beard, it's good to see you again. When you left Erebor to stand guard on the Shire, Gimli and I feared we might be seeing the last of you. Now I hear you stood with the Rangers in the battle against the Nazgul at Sarn Ford, and bested an orc chieftain at Fornost. Good work.
I can't take all the credit. I had Andriel, an elf of Rivendell, and the ranger.
Oh, luckily he doesn't talk too much.
Reminds me of the old days
Tell me about
when
it.
dwarves, elves, and men fought together in the Battle of the Five Armies.
Let's talk about the old days.
Then I've your blessing being allied with an elf.
I will speak plainly. I may be less than fond of King Thranduil's wood elves for keeping me in their dungeons, but I've no grudge with any of Elrond's folk.
So I've heard you say many times, but the elves fought beside us when it mattered most.
You're right, of course. I can be a stiff-necked old dwarf, but it's time to set aside grievances that were long ago repaid. When dwarves, men, and elves fought together at Erebor, we overcame legions of foes. But we face a far more terrible enemy in the Dark Lord. Standing together against Agandaur may be more than just a good idea. It may be our only hope to save the North.
Don't forget the eagles.
Let's not leave out the eagles. They've been a big help to us.
Well spoken. Thorin's quest and the Battle of Five Armies would have met disaster without the help of the eagles. You're fortunate to have gained the friendship of such noble creatures. Your life may well depend upon your choice of friends, whatever kindred they be.
Well, maybe it will help Frodo.
And besides, it wouldn't hurt to keep Sauron a little distracted. If we keep him second-guessing his plans for the conquest of the North, it could only help Frodo in the long run.
That's my thoughts upon the matter too. Be the stinging fly in the ointment, as it were. Only this fly's sting will be and it's
Well
time
spoken,
to
my
be
friend.
about your business.
The giants are waking up.
And good luck to you.
Thanks for the talk, Dwarf. Wait. It's
Nothing
Frodo.
else my heart like this.
Wait.
My home. Unless perhaps the sea.
Sorry, I had an investigation point here.
Yeah. Frodo. You fucking hobbit.
Hello. You
No.
are Farin, aren't you? I was hoping I would get a chance to speak with you.
Hi, and you must be Frodo Baggins. Aragorn and Gandalf have told me all about you, and the burden you bear.
Likewise, they have told me all about you. I wanted to thank you and your friends for all you did to keep us safe on our journey to Rivendell.
Sure, tell me about your journey.
Will you tell me about your journey here? Sounds as if it were a rough one.
We had trouble almost from the start. The Black Riders were always just behind us, and we nearly met disaster in the Burrow Downs, at Bree, and again at Weathertop.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, Burrow Downs.
You came through the Borrow Downs? I won't soon forget that accursed place.
You got an achievement.
You were lucky to come out alive. That's no place for hobbits to go a-wandering.
You seem to know a great deal about the Burrow Downs already. I'd prefer not to speak about what we found there. It is too horrible to dwell on, even here in the safety of Rivendell.
My
Tell me
God,
about Bree.
What happened to you?
this
in
episode's just talking.
Bree? We must
Yeah,
have
it's
just
already at
missed
28
crossing
and a half
paths
minutes.
there.
There were spies.
We're not gonna finish this
and our
episode
rulers
until we're
attacked
done
in
with
Rad.
entirety of
Strider had
Imladris
convinced us to
talking.
sleep elsewhere. Our journey would have ended then and there.
So we don't have to subject the people to another episode. This is bullshit.
What happened
Yeah.
at this place called Weathertop?
We were attacked by 5 of the Black
Excuse me.
Riders. I was foolish, and I put on the ring. One of them wounded me before Aragorn managed to drive them away. The knife that was used against me left a shard in the wound. From what Gandalf has told me, the fragment was working its way inward. If it had reached my heart, I would have become a wraith under the power of the Black Riders. Fortunately, we were able to reach Rivendell in time for Elrond's healing arts to save me.
Show me the ring.
It is a little thing, this ring, but filled with mischief. Will you show it to me?
No, I mean, I'm sorry, but Gandalf and Elrond have warned me against revealing the ring to anyone, even proven friends. I hope you understand.
Yeah, of course, I'm sorry.
Aye, I think I do begin to understand. I shouldn't have asked. Forgive me.
There is nothing to forgive. But the ring, it has a strange effect on everyone around it. It is better for it to remain hidden.
Well, I wish you luck, Frodo.
It truly is a heavy burden you bear, Frodo. I hope you find strength and wisdom on the long road ahead. Farewell.
Oh yeah, an achievement.
Yeah.
Another dwarf. It's Gimli.
Gimli, son of Glowin! This is a happy meeting. But what brings you to Rivendell? What has passed for good or ill since I left the mountain?
Aye, and it's good to see you again, kinsman. I've heard of your exploits at Sarnford and Fornost. They sing your praises here. After you left to aid in the protection of the Shire, the foul messenger from Mordor returned yet again with more threats. King Dain thought it best to seek advice from Elrond. He chose Glowin to speak for him. When my father set out, I refused to be left behind, as happened with Thorin's quest. You were there at the Battle of the Five Armies, while I was left to cool my heels at the hearthside. Well, not this time. I go with the hobbit Frodo and his chosen 9, even if one of them must be a wood elf.
Tell me about Frodo.
I know little of hobbits. What think you of this Frodo with such a burden to bear?
I know that he's Bilbo's adopted heir, and that such great folk as Elrond and Gandalf regard him with honor. He's already come far with the ring, and endured the knives of those Nazgul. That's good enough for me. He's hereabouts somewhere if you wish to speak with him.
I'll go get you a towel.
An elf of Mirkwood.
Who's
You
this
get me a
wood elf
towel?
you spoke of? It's
Yeah,
long
the
way
amount
from
of
the
ass
forests of
kissing he
Mirkwood.
does when he talks to me
Legolas is his name. A fair-haired
about you, how
princeling
esteemed
and
you
son to
are,
King
and how we only
Rivendell.
are successful because of
Elrond has
you.
chosen him to
Because you're a
represent the
dwarf, you
kindred
know?
spells in
It's true.
Frodo's party.
What can I say?
Like like his tongue is so far up your rectum, it feels like you have 2 tongues in your own mouth.
Mm-hmm.
When they held him in their dungeons.
He's licking my ass, but we're French kissing at the same time.
Yeah.
And I love it. Can you imagine how much his beard tickles on my balls? But that was long ago.
Come, Gimli. That's an old grudge, and not even your own. The elves of Mirkwood fought and
He's
died
fucking
alongside
racist
us
too.
in the Battle of
Called me a
Five
wood
Armies,
elf.
And my new friend, Andriel, has saved my hide
Asshat.
more than once.
But I'm defending you.
Aye, true enough. For Frodo's sake, I must bear the company of Legolas and make the best of it. Perhaps he won't be entirely
Nice.
insufferable.
Weird
And
frogs here
besides,
in
we've
this
enough
area.
to worry about as it is, what with this Agandaur skulking about in the north.
I just broke into him, Lodris. Fucking spies.
Do you see glory in in battle?
The Battle of Five Armies was long and terrible.
Glory and
Many
Hole?
valiant lives were lost.
Glory hole.
Glory's of little use to the dead.
You say it as one who has won a share of glory and lived to tell of it, and doubtless will do so again. Don't begrudge me this chance to show the worth of a dwarf against hopeless odds. But in truth, it's not for glory I take this road. It's for the sake of all who lie under the shadow of the enemy. It's Frodo who bears the true burden.
Control yourself.
You have the luck of it to bear
What?
the honor of dwarves on that quest. When do you leave for the south?
We'll not be leaving until Elrond's scouts return. They've gone off in all directions in search of the Nazgul, in case any survive.
You should take your
floating
tongue out
around
of his
it.
ass mouth.
But they have eyes out for other dangers as well.
I volunteered for such a mission. My friends and I are to search the Ettenmoors for signs of what this Agandaur may be planning.
Good, good. I don't like the sound of him. He reminds me too much of the Black Rider they sent to our doorstep, demanding word of Bilbo. Well, don't delay, kinsman. The sooner the scouts return, the sooner my party can set out. The road to Mordor is long and grim, but I'll fulfill my oath, though all the orcs of Middle-earth stand in my way. Still, it would be better to have only the south to worry over, and not the north as well.
You worry about the north?
We killed an orc chieftain and drove
No.
Agandaur from his stronghold. What worries you about the north?
Before we left, we heard that Mordor was stirring up the Easterlings. But should they be foolish enough to move against King Brand of Dale, they'll find King Dain of Erebor standing fast at his side. But every step of the way here, we heard rumor of new gatherings of orcs and goblins and worse things. And though the fearful count every enemy twice, there may be some truth to it. You found such enemies at Fornast. When Sauron strikes, there will be more than one land that feels his wrath. I fear for the Shire and Rivendell, but my heart would rest more easily if I knew you kept watch over them. If Faron of the Lonely Mountain defends the north, then no enemy can prevail.
You don't ask much, but my friends and I will do what we can. If you can bear the honor of the dwarves on your quest, I can do no less here. You have my word on it.
Okay, thank you for the talk, Emily. It's been an absolute pleasure. Yeah, really. No, seriously.
It's been an absolute hour.
Yeah, I think we might be reaching that. Great, Aladdin and other helpless fuckface.
The sun shines and all is fair and peaceful here in Imladris. A far cry from the blood and dust of Fornost, is it not? You and your companions did very well there. Indeed, things might have gone badly for us had you not been there. You have earned some time to recover from the toils of battle and hard travel. And I believe you will find no place better for the restoration of body and spirit than this, our home.
What brought you to Fornost?
What was it that brought you to Fornost?
We often ride far afield hunting the orcs, wherever we may find them. We came upon signs of a large band of goblins making their way from the orc hold of Mount Gram and followed their trail to Fornost, where we lost no time in attacking them.
You work often with Aragorn?
I take it you often join forces with Aragorn.
Yes, we often venture forth in company with the Dunedain, and none more frequently than Aragorn. He was raised here in our household, after all.
Oh, how was he
How is it
raised
that a
here?
man was raised here among elves?
It is a tradition for heirs of Isildur to be fostered in the House of Aragorn. We have sheltered all the chieftains of the Dunedain from the time the Northern Kingdom ceased to be down to this present day.
Squeeze
Aragorn
me.
is the 16th in line from father to son to spend his early years in Imladris. This is one reason why the bond between the elves and the Dunedain is so strong.
Well, sure, tell me about your family. That's what I really care about.
Will you tell me more about your family? I know Elrond is your father.
Yes, it was he who established the refuge of Imladris. My brother and I have dwelt here all our lives. Our sister Arwen dwells here as well, although she has spent many years in the company of our grandmother.
And what about your mommy?
And your mother, does she dwell here also?
Our mother has crossed the sea and left Middle-earth. It is a bitter tale to tell. Many years past, on a journey across the Misty Mountains, our mother was captured by orcs. We searched the mountains without rest until we found her at last. Our father was able to heal her injuries, but the memory of her torment was too terrible for her to bear. At last she chose to depart for the Undying Lands. Perhaps now you understand why our hatred for the orcs is so great.
Sorry to have reminded
That's an
you.
awful tale to hear. I shouldn't have brought it up.
No, my friend. We have drawn swords together in the same cause. You have earned our trust. We do not wish to keep anything hidden from you. This is the evil that we have pledged our lives to destroy, just as you have.
And what can I find here?
I may need a few things before I'm ready to set out. Can anyone here help me with that?
If it is provisions or other supplies you need, you should speak with Alari. And if your arms and armor need tending, seek out Angmir. Both of them may be found nearby.
Okay, good luck.
Farewell, and luck be with you.
Ugh.
We got 3 more people to talk to.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Gandalf, Elrond, and Aragorn.
Well, luckily those are small characters. They sure don't have a lot to say, huh? Hello, Schmandel.
Ah, Farin. It is good of you to seek me out. You're a stout dwarf, like all of Durin's and your courageous deeds have shown your worth.
Yes. Why attack the north?
What's Agendaur after? There are no mighty kingdoms to be found on this side of the Misty Mountains. What's Sauron afraid of here?
Sauron seeks dominion over all of Middle-earth. His desire is to order all things as he sees fit. even were these lands empty from here to the sea. Still, he would seek to control them. There is power in Rivendell that could stand against him when all others fall. For a time. And this is something Sauron cannot allow.
And the Shire is a danger.
I came all the way from the Lonely Mountain to help guard the Shire. Should I abandon what I set out to do?
You fulfilled your oath and protected the Shire when you were needed there, my good dwarf. Now you're needed more urgently elsewhere. With the flight of the ring in this direction, the enemy is looking this way and has forgotten the Shire for now. For now. But eventually his eye will turn once again toward the Shire, as humble as it is. Hobbits as miserable slaves would please him far more than hobbits happy and free. And there is such a thing as malice and revenge. Sauron will leave the final devastation of the Shire to his servant Agendour. And that is yet another reason why you must find him and put an end to his designs. In opposing Agendour, you are defending the Shire.
Well, the eagles could help us, Mr. Eagleman.
We had one of the great eagles lend us a hand. Claw at Fornost. Right handy he was too. I was thinking he might help us get rid of the ring.
I don't fault you for thinking along those lines. Why not beg a ride from an eagle, fly far out to the west, and drop the ring into the deepest part of the sea? Such ideas were debated at Elrond's council. But there are many things in the deep waters, and seas and lands may change. We cannot think of our time alone. We must destroy this thing forever.
Agendour.
This orc lover, Agendour. Do you know anything about him?
I really feel like
Well,
it's gonna
I
be a
know
1
nothing
hour
of
long talking
Agendour
episode.
himself. I have seen
Yeah,
him
that's what it
at
seems to
other
be.
times in distant lands. He is likely a black.
But at least we'll get through it and be done with it.
master of dark sorceries.
He is truly dangerous.
Well, that doesn't sound good. Just what we need. A sorcerer with a 5,000-year-old grudge against all free folk.
Who can say what promises Sauron has made to him? Perhaps even a ring of his own. At the very least, Agendour expects to rule all of the North. He would be a cruel tyrant. The elves he will seek to utterly destroy. Hobbits, men, dwarves, any that survive, will be enslaved. And he will raise an iron kingdom in the north, in mockery of the ancient glory of Arnor. This is his dark dream. It must never come to pass.
Well, the Etmoors.
When we first spoke, you said you recently passed through the Ettenmoors. Can you tell me anything more of them?
It is a rough and empty land, home to many trolls. I passed through with great haste, for I needed to reach Rivendell as quickly as I could.
And you saw no trolls.
You said there was no sign of trolls.
I saw neither trolls nor fresh signs of them, and that disturbs me more than encountering one. I doubt they've all packed up and left. Mindless brute creatures they may be. Yet they can be used and driven to even greater wickedness by a strong enough hand. Agendour could well be forming them into an army.
The trolls are mustering.
Do you think he's mustering the trolls for an attack?
That is my fear. I would gladly be proven wrong, but my heart misgives me that somewhere in the Ettenmoors you will find them gathering and being prepared for war. We must know. Such a force could be sent against Rivendell, perhaps in hopes of capturing the ring.
Well, we'll find out.
I'll get my friends and we'll head for the moors. If there's something to find, we'll find it.
Okay, Gandalf is Gondalf.
Oof. How much? How's the time? What are we looking at here? 45 minutes?
Yeah, very close, 44.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, hello, Schmackaborn.
I am glad you are here. I feel I must apologize to you. When I was told a dwarf had appeared on the borders of the Shire asking to join the Dunedain in their watch, I was suspicious. I instructed Halbarad to keep a careful eye upon you, fearing you were a spy. Clearly he grew to trust you, and after all you have done, I have as well. I am sorry to have doubted you, my friend.
The marshmallow ship.
I'd like to know more about those chosen to be part of your fellowship.
Who is it that interests you?
Tell me about Gandalf.
What about Gandalf? What can you tell me of him?
To know all there is to know of Gandalf would require a lifetime study. There is much about him that remains a mystery, even to me. Yet he is a relentless foe of Sauron, and without his vigilance, the ring would already be in the hands of the enemy. His wisdom and leadership will be of great value to the Fellowship.
Tell me about
Tell me about
Legolas.
the Wood Elf, Legolas.
It is fitting that we have a representative
They
of the
speak of
Eldar, the
Boromir,
elves,
but we
along
don't
with us
see
on
a
this venture.
Boromir.
They have been foes of Sauron since before the ancestors of the Dunedain first returned to the shores of Middle-earth. Legolas is keen of eye and ear, and he
Did
is unmatched
Boromir
as a
already
bowman.
kick the bucket
His
before they
arrows
reached this
seldom
place?
miss their mark.
No.
Tell me about
You
borrowing
should
What
still-
about this man of Gondor, this Boromir?
Boromir kicks the
Boromir is
bucket
son of
after they
Denethor,
get
the
split
steward of
up.
Gondor. I
yeah.
had never met him before Elrond's council, but long years ago, under another name, I served his grandfather Ecthelion. The men of Gondor are valiant and strong, and by all accounts, Boromir is foremost among them in courage and skill
I
at
guess
arms.
Boromir isn't
I
important
suspect
enough
we
in
will
the
have need
story.
of his sword before our quest is through.
Tell me about Gimli.
At least you will have a dwarf along with you, and one of the best too. You won't find a better companion than Gimli, son of Glóin.
I have only just met Gimli, but I hope he will prove to be much like you, stout-hearted and reliable, and a terror to his enemies in battle.
And tell me about the small guys
What
that are
about
not
these other
dwarves.
hobbits? Is it wise to send so many of the little folk on this quest?
We are asking much of Frodo. Until recently, he had never set foot outside the confines of the Shire. It will be a comfort for him to have the familiar companionship of his friends and kin in the face of so much that will be new and frightening. I have traveled with these hobbits, and they proved far more courageous and hardy than many would suspect.
So you go to become king.
So, you go now to claim the throne of Gondor.
Above all, I go to help Frodo fulfill his quest. For unless the ring is destroyed, Gondor will soon fall, king or no king.
Great, now I can
take
ask
it
about
you'd never
Agendar as
heard
well.
of Agendaur before we spoke.
I had never heard nor dealt with Agendaur specifically, but I know his kind. Years ago, I served in disguise in the armies of Gondor, where I contended with the corsairs of Umbal, who were often led by those akin to Agendaur. These black Númenóreans are a corrupt and wicked race. They worship Sauron as a god and seek the utter destruction of all who oppose him.
The Etemwes.
Word is you've traveled a great deal. Is there anything you can tell me of the Ettenmoors?
Only that it is a dangerous and unforgiving place. My own grandfather Alador was slain by trolls in the Ettenmoors. It is important we learn if the enemy is active in the moors, but we do not send you there lightly. Be on your guard at all times while you venture
Excuse
there.
me.
Well, good luck.
Good luck to you.
The shells
And
of
now the
Narnia,
slow
sword of
talking.
Rivendell. Soon it shall be remade, and Aragorn will bear it to war.
That's a spoiler, because that isn't actually the plan until later.
You already know it though.
Yeah, because we see the movies, but I don't think our characters have seen the movies.
No, but your character already knows it. It's like deep elven wisdom.
Greetings to you, Farin. Many times in
Hello,
the past have
Dingleberry
I
Elrond.
welcomed your kin to my home. The bond between our kindred has at times been shaken, yet it has never been broken. Always before, I have placed my trust in Durin's folk, and never have they betrayed it. You will always be welcome here in Imladris, my friend. Yet I am certain you did not come here merely to exchange pleasantries. That is not the dwarven way. Do you have questions for me?
Oi.
Well, I found the scroll.
I found this scroll at Fornost. I think maybe you should take a look at it.
A wise decision. This is writ in the black speech of Mordor, a language I will not utter here. It is intended to instruct the reader in the use of dark sorceries.
Can we use it to our advantage? Perchance.
Well, maybe we should turn the tables on the enemy by making use of this scroll ourselves.
Have a care, warrior of Erebor. You tread on dangerous ground when you harbor such thoughts. This, like all works of the enemy, is altogether evil. Any who make use of this, even from a desire to do good, will only be corrupted by it. Surely the ring has taught us that much.
Tell me about the Black Speech.
What is the Black Speech?
A language devised by Sauron when he desired a single tongue to be spoken by all who serve him. He had small luck introducing it to the scattered tribes of orcs and trolls, but it is still used by his highest-ranking servants.
What shall we do with it?
Good thing we captured this then. What will you do with it?
I will destroy this scroll at the very least. But wait, here I discover more. Listen to what is written herein. Scribed by the hand of Agandaur, disciple of the great Lord Sauron, for the empowerment of his servant Wulfrun and those others of his faithful who prove worthy. I will speak no more of these blasphemies, but it does say that this scroll is one of 7 such works.
Can't he make more of these scrolls?
Seems like Agandaur could have written a whole lot more than just 7.
Perhaps, but creating something of this nature is not a matter of simple scribing. Considerable preparation and effort is involved. We have reason to hope there are no more than 7.
So there are 6 more of these accursed things. Maybe we can find them all.
That would be a great service to our cause. Should you recover them all, bring them to me, and I will ensure they are destroyed.
All right.
You can count on that.
In the meantime, please accept this in appreciation for bringing this matter to my attention. Perhaps it will be of service to you in your travels.
Well, I found this as well.
One more thing. I found this book hidden away in the ruins of Fornost. It looks to be quite old.
Like you.
Ah, now this is writing of an altogether more wholesome sort. This was not made by any minion of Sauron, but rather by the men of Arthedain, likely before the fall of Fornost.
When was that?
Seems like that ruin has been abandoned for quite some time.
It is more than 1,000 years since the Witch King of Angmar...
Of course, we saved the guy that
Fornost
talks the
brought
longest
about the
for
end
it
of
to
the
last.
Dunedain
God fucking
Kingdom
damn
of
it.
Arthedain. What a grim day it was.
Fucking Arthedain.
Tell me about this realm of Arthedain.
Arthedain was the last fragment of the great northern kingdom of Arnor. The heirs of Isildur ruled as kings of Arthedain until it too was destroyed by the enemy.
But the line of kings did not end.
But according to the rangers at the Sarn Ford, the line of their kings did not end.
It is true
Excuse me.
Isildur's line has remained unbroken.
You're
But
excused.
without a kingdom to rule,
Thanks.
they have not claimed the title of king and have been known simply as chieftains of the Dunedain. It is our friend Aragorn who currently bears that title, although he will be the last to do so. Either he will become a king, or Isildur's line will come to an end with him.
Can you read this book?
So you think this book is a record from those days? You could be right, for we found it in a chamber that had been long sealed. Can you make out any of the writing?
Indeed. It seems to be a personal journal. And here is a name inscribed. M-A-L. Why, this appears to be a work of Malbeth, the seer of Arthedain.
And who was he? Because I care.
Malbeth. Never heard of him.
Many of the Dunedain race are gifted with foresight, but none more than Malbeth. He predicted the final destruction of the kingdom of Arthedain, which befell exactly as he had foretold. I will examine this work carefully. Who knows what other visions are here recorded. It may be that we will find something of value to us in this time of trouble. You did well in bringing this to me. Take this in way of thanks.
Thank you.
Happy to have been of service. Thanks and goodbye.
Okay. Do I still get to talk about the Atmores?
Greetings, my...
Yeah.
Is there anything more you can tell me about?
Only that the Etten Moors are a dangerous place at the best of times. The danger will be that much greater if the orcs and trolls are being organized by an outside force. You and your friends will need to have your wits about you.
What if that is the case?
If we do find the enemy mustering there, what should we do about it?
You will have to determine your best course of action. But when dealing with the foul folk, it is always wise to eliminate any strong leader you may find. For without someone who can enforce discipline, they will often fall to fighting amongst themselves. If the enemy is mustering in the Etenmoors, try to recover any clues that may help us determine who is behind it and where they may be found.
Now it's all at
Who
force.
could raise such a muster?
Agendour would be my first guess, but it could also be a strong orc chieftain, or perhaps an unusually cunning troll. At worst, one or more of the Nazgul may have made their way there. If any of their mounts survived the flood we unleashed upon them.
We will do our best.
Whatever may be happening there, you will know of it. Farewell, Master Elrond.
Whoa, we made it. I'm not crying, you are.
Okay, so I gave my relic to the Humpty Dumpty, the smith, yeah? And he gave me an elven sword or a elven, you know?
Yeah.
An elven staff. I went with the staff, and it's a fucking glorious staff. But if I were you, I would keep it until you find a dwarven smith.
Yeah, of course.
So technically, you could buy the great mace.
I still have to check.
I'm debating whether or not I should buy equipment.
That's tricky, huh? Angmir sword. Not bad. Yeah.
Oh wait, you got it as well?
Well, it's a choice reward thingy.
Oh, so when I delivered it, it counted for you as well?
Apparently, yeah.
Those who venture into the wild
Well, that was
must
stupid.
be well prepared.
But actually, I think I will buy that mace. Seems too awesome. It's a two-handed blunt weapon. I like that. The sword that they gave me is good, but I'm going two-handed, so I'm gonna say schmuck it.
Let me see. I'm gonna suck as well.
The sword is really good though, not gonna lie. 3 will, 50 power, reduced wear, 16 fire damage. Hot damn. But the mace?
The staff is basically the equivalent of that, but it gives will and less fire damage.
Yeah. And I will add even more fire damage to the mace. Will do an additional 26 fire damage now.
Damn.
Right? Yeah.
Kind of a shame that if I give it to this smithy, then you automatically get fucked. But maybe, just maybe, you get a chance to give it to a dwarven smithy and I get something dwarven.
Maybe. Would be funny, right?
Well.
But yeah, I finally made it through all of the conversations.
Yeah, it was terrible. I'm sorry, people.
Yeah.
Those who venture in...
Oh, yes. Oh god, that was the right option after all. Talk.
Those who venture in...
Did I have anything to sell here? I mean... yeah, I can sell that. And then I can... sell this, sell that, sell this. Maybe I'll keep that. I'm kinda still hoping that at some point maybe we'd be able to get gems out of equipment again. That would be awesome.
That would be great, yeah.
But at the same time I doubt it.
Yeah, you might be right.
Okay, so we are reaching that 1 hour point. So what an episode it has been, huh?
We could still finish off talking to Arwen to give her compliments and then...
Oh yeah, right. That's the thing that was requested.
Yeah.
I will just do that already while you're still over there, huh? Arvin, Bilbo says you got
Well
nice
met,
tits.
Thorin. It is good of you to visit me again. My thoughts stray often to Estelle and my brothers,
I'll go
but
talk to
also
her as
to
well.
you and your... I continue to brew Miraval, but I am concerned about our dwindling stocks. We still have need of those ingredients I spoke of before.
Bilbo's poem.
Bilbo asked for help with a poem. I'm fond enough of the dwarvish sort of poetry, but this elvish verse is beyond me. He asked for your help, saying the subject is a matter very close to
That's
your
not
heart.
what he said.
Then it must be about Estelle. He is fond of writing verses in honor of his
Oh,
godmother,
I'm so glad that's done.
who often comes to me for
Not
advice.
just yet.
You may leave it with me, Farin. I will give it some thought
Oh,
and
no.
answer him myself.
Thank you, that's a relief. It's not for a dwarf to be writing lines about the kings of men. And anyway, I have little time to spare for poetry. By your leave, lady, I should be going. Farewell.
Yes, indeed. Great. Good. Poot.
Yeah, it seems that Boromir wasn't important enough to be put in this place as well.
Clearly.
Even though we do talk about him as if
But
as if he's here.
Samwise is also not here.
Neither are Merry and Pippin.
Exactly. Those are clearly important. Especially Sam.
Sauron isn't here either, and we keep talking about him.
Yeah, damn, where is he? Would be funny if you just look up and to the tower and he's just chilling there.
Yo,
smoking on a pipe or something.
Yeah.
Give him like
That
the
good,
peace sign.
Oop. Hippie Sauron.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, we are so sorry. If we'd known that it would take us an hour to get through everybody in this place,
we would have not
we
played this
might
game.
have we might have skipped it a little quicker. But regardless, I hope you enjoyed. Next episode will be in the Earthen Wars, and then action will be on the menu for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Again, thank you so much for watching.
And also,
leave a comment if you want.
Yeah, exactly. About the comment, just leave a comment. Let us know what you think about the whole thing. If we should keep it that full story version, or if it's actually completely hated and you always skip through it, because then, you know, we don't need to record it like that if you hate it. So give some feedback so we can adjust.
Yeah, and also subscribe so you don't miss the next episode.
Exactly.
And we will see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye, people.
Bye-bye.